So in this video, I want to talk about technology and teaching English. More specifically, I would like to share with you guys what have been my best and my worst purchases. So I stopped working out how much I've already spent on English teaching stuff um, a while ago, because I think if I stop and think about everything I've bought for my students and for my classes so far, it would probably cost around the same as a car, maybe. So I've spent a lot of money on my business. I started in 2012 to work as a full-time English teacher. And when I first started my career, I had nothing. I only had a table in the middle of my living room in my house, and I used paper books. But my business has changed quite a lot. I added a lot of technology to the stuff that I already had, and then we kind of grew and grew and grew. And it changed. I started working online, so some of things became obsolete. So I want to tell you guys best and worst purchases. So maybe I'll take turns, a good and a bad one, a good and a bad one. So let's start with a good purchase that I made. My MacBook Air. My MacBook Air was a good purchase because before having this computer, I had a HP computer. It was also a laptop. I used to teach a lot of in-company classes, which meant I had to do quite a lot of traveling around town. The problem with that is the other laptop was just too heavy. It was really, really heavy, and you think, okay, I'm walking just a couple of meters away from the bus stop to the next client, or whatever. I will drive and everything, but it was heavy. And so I decided to buy a Mac, and I've not regretted it. It is an expensive computer, but I've had this computer for quite a while now, and I've never needed to do any maintenance in it. Touch wood, it's a good computer. It's lightweight. If you have to travel around a lot, if you're quite mobile, it's an excellent computer. And once I started to work online, I did quite a bit of traveling in the beginning of my career as an online teacher. Having a lightweight computer made a lot of difference. Before you go on and ask, why didn't you get a tablet? Well, tablets are limited. So if all you're using in your online class is a tablet, there will be a lot of things you won't be able to do that you can with a computer. So finding a lightweight, strong computer will make a lot of difference. So that's a good purchase. Now let's move on to a bad purchase. Where is it? Here it is. And I'm keeping it in a cover, but you can see it's the Apple Pencil. The Apple Pencil is a purchase that I regretted because I think it's just too advanced for what I need. I thought it would make a lot of difference. It's Apple. Everything else I have is Apple. Why not get the Apple Pencil? Well, it's really expensive, and I tested a more simple £5 stylus. It worked pretty well. The Apple Pencil is just a little bit faster, and unfortunately, because I have the first generation one, you have that tiny piece that you need to connect to the cable to charge it. I've lost it 100 times. So nowadays, if I want to charge my Apple Pencil, I kind of just literally use my cell phone to do it. And I think this is poor design, Apple. This is just, I mean, they've come up with a new one, but then it's not worth buying the new one because there isn't a huge difference. So if you're looking for a stylus to use with your iPad, I don't recommend the Apple Pencil. I don't think you will get that much difference for the price you'll be paying for it. Moving on to good purchases, my iPad Pro. So the reason why I chose this specific iPad Pro was because it's so big. I loved it when I first saw it, and I knew I had to have one. I knew I had to buy an iPad Pro. The size is just amazing. If they come up with an even bigger one, I think I would buy it. I would sell a kidney and buy it if I had to anyway. It's very good. It integrates very well with my Mac and with Zoom. I can share my screen on the iPad. I can mirror my Mac screen, and it's just an essential part of my class. It was really expensive, but I think of all purchases that I have made, this is one of the ones that have really empowered me as an educator, and that have really allowed me to do many things that I don't think I'd be able to do even in my face-to-face classes. I will try and do a special video just about the iPad. But my advice to you is, if you're deciding what to buy, if you're not sure if on what you want to buy yet, if you're on a budget, start with the computer, use the computer only, and as soon as you can get a tablet. It doesn't have to be an iPad, but tablets are very good. Those digital boards for design, they're cheaper, but they're also not an ideal solution. I recommend a tablet. And the big iPad Pro, really good purchase. Really expensive, but you will get your money's worth, especially because it makes your class just so much more interactive that it actually makes your service stand out from the crowd. So, really good one. Now, my next purchase, unfortunately, is not here with me. It's back home with my mom. It was so good that I didn't even bring it with me when I moved abroad. So I bought a wireless projector, an Epson wireless projection. This one that you see here. Personally, not worth it. I didn't like it at all. It's very noisy. It is bright, but not that bright. And the extra money that you pay just so you won't have any cables isn't really that much. Um, it served me well when I was teaching, but it wasn't the best. Setting up the wireless connection isn't very simple, and if your internet isn't very good, it just doesn't work very well, so I didn't like it. Um, it's not something I would buy again if I was setting up an office for me to teach. Now, a good purchase, Apple TV. This has been an excellent purchase. I I'm teaching. I started to teach face to face again here in London after a number of years working online only. And in some of my schools, the setting where I'm supposed to keep the computer isn't that great. Also, I like to use my iPad in face-to-face classes. With Apple TV, you can connect this to your school's Wi-Fi, and you can connect this to the projector, and you can project your iPad wirelessly. The first time I did this in my face-to-face class, my students were just blown away. They were like, "You are connecting the iPad to the projector without any cables. This is just amazing." So it's really nice if you have large groups, because you can get them to control the board as well. You can take notes on mistakes they're making and then project the mistakes on your board and kind of get them to talk. You can use the iPad. You can take pictures of things that they've done on their notebooks and project on the computer, on the screen. This this is an amazing thing, and it's so lightweight. You could pretty much just carry it with you. This is the older generation. I've had it for quite a while now. I don't know if it's worth getting the newest one. My iPad and Apple Pencil are also the older generation. It works just fine. This is also very good because you can use it for your television as well. The only downside is you can only use HDMI, but then again, most things nowadays work with HDMI. So AirPods. So I got a pair of AirPods, and I like them, but I don't think they're the best purchase in the world. I love using them if I'm cooking or if I'm just out talking on the phone because there's no cable. But for teaching, I don't think they're the best tool. I think that the battery doesn't last very long, and um, sometimes it glitches a bit with the Bluetooth connection and everything. As I said, I like them for when I'm going for walks or if I'm at the supermarket or cooking, but I don't think they're the best thing in terms of teaching. So I don't think you need AirPods if you want to use it for teaching. Amazing purchase that I made a few years ago is my eBeam. So you've probably seen me talk about the software eBeam Scrapbook a couple of times before. If you haven't, check it out. It's very good. It's in the description of this video. This is amazing. It's a tiny thing in this, and what you do is you glue this on your whiteboard, and then you connect this like that, and you convert your whiteboard into an interactive board, if you have a projector, of course. So that means you connect your computer to the HDMI or to Apple TV, and you connect it to this, and with this you get a special stylus which you can use for taking notes, and you can save these as a PDF and send to your students at the end of the lesson. This was an amazing purchase. I think at the time it cost around $600, and I feel like I've had a very good return of investment on this. This is, it's not even that new, and it definitely made my work as a teacher stand out with my face-to-face classes. When I taught at students' houses, I had a different device, which I had this device, and you can put it on top of the television, put the e-beam here, and you can convert the TV into an interactive board, into a touch screen TV. So yes, that was a very good purchase. One thing I regret buying, this little guy here. So this is for you to convert HDMI into VGA. Or yes. So I wanted to use my Apple TV on a projector that only worked with VGA, which is a different kind of port. And of course it didn't work. And this doesn't work. I think you need a converter, not just a cable. So it never worked. But then again, it was only £5, so I wasn't that upset. And since we're talking about teaching online, this was a very good purchase. It's a back support, and sometimes you know, we always get to that time of the year where we're teaching like 10 classes a day. This helps a lot with your posture. So you can wear it under your top, and it helps you to keep your posture straight. So I think it can be a very helpful thing, just for your back. So, and it was like £7. So totally worth it. This is the brand. Um, it was one of the cheapest I found on Amazon, by the way, so you don't need to spend a lot of time on that. Things I regret buying. This. This was not a good purchase. The sound is quite good, but I find it needs to be charged all the time. And I also think it gets disconnected very frequently. So you kind of have to reconnect a bunch of times. Sometimes it doesn't work very well. I don't know if I think this was a good purchase. Another thing that I bought that I really liked was this. So I use this with my computer, and it's quite nice because you can sort of keep your computer a bit inclined. I think it's good to have, because it's good to have, like, it gets, the image is better, and I find it better for typing. It costs £7 on eBay, and it's very good. So it's kind of like, because I'm recording from the computer, I can show you on the computer, but it's something like so. If you want to put this, just for you to have an idea, you can do this, for example. Although I don't use it with the iPad very often. With the iPad, I just use the cover, and it works just fine. So you don't need to spend money on that either. Now, still on the topic of stupid purchases, the Magic Mouse doesn't serve a purpose. I thought I would use it more often, but once you get used to using the trackpad, you kind of don't use it. So I don't recommend that you buy it. That's it, guys. I'm going to try and think of more purchases, more things. That you can use for class. Hopefully I'll be doing a video about the iPad soon. I hope to see you all soon. Bye bye. That's it. What about you? What are your favorite things that you bought for your classes, and what are the ones that maybe you think were not that great a purchase?